Between 2018 and 2024, a nightmare unfolded across Ukraine. It wasn't a war, nor a political scandal. It was something darker, something that hid behind a smile, behind a glass of alcohol shared with a stranger. A man who seemed ordinary, but who left behind one of the bloodiest trails in modern Ukrainian criminal history. 11 people, mothers, fathers, neighbors, friends, were murdered by a single predator. This is the story of how he deceived his victims, how he evaded justice for years, and how he was finally caught. The killer was a citizen of Uzbekistan. He was not a shadow hiding in the dark. He was social, approachable, sometimes even charming. He drifted between Kiev and Kharkiv regions, blending into the crowds. To neighbors, he was just another man trying to get by. But behind closed doors, he harbored a cold and methodical violence. His victims were diverse: men and women, Ukrainians and foreigners, citizens of Uzbekistan, Lithuania, and Georgia. Their ages ranged from 35 to 81. Some were vulnerable and lonely, others simply trusted the wrong person at the wrong time. The killer's method was chilling. He would gain trust, share a drink, talk, laugh, and then, when his victims least expected it, he struck. The crimes were brutal. Bodies left in apartments, in empty streets, in forgotten corners of the city. Possessions taken, lives erased. For the families of the victims, there were only questions. Why them? Why this way? Why did nobody stop him sooner? For years, the murders seemed unconnected. A crime in Kiev, another in Kharkiv, months apart, different circumstances. Police opened cases, but without a clear link. Each file was closed into its own folder. Witnesses described a man who seemed friendly, even kind. He was careful. He didn't leave obvious clues. He knew how to vanish, how to move between cities unnoticed. But behind the scenes, fear was growing. Communities whispered about disappearances, families begged for answers. Investigators began to suspect they weren't dealing with isolated cases, but with a predator who had mastered the art of trust. It was only after multiple murders were re-examined that the pieces began to fit together. Forensic evidence started pointing in the same direction. Witness accounts overlapped. Slowly, a profile emerged. The same man, always close to the victims before they vanished. One mistake sealed his fate. A careless trace, left at the scene, linked him definitively to one of the murders. From there, the investigation unraveled years of hidden violence. In court, the scale of his crimes shocked the public. 11 murders, committed over 6 years, across 2 major regions of Ukraine. The stories were harrowing. Families of the victims described their pain, their confusion, their endless search for truth. The killer, sitting in silence, showed little remorse. He had lived by exploiting kindness, by preying on trust. And now, he faced the consequences. The sentence was final: life imprisonment. He would never walk free again. This case left a scar on Ukraine's criminal history. It wasn't only about the number of victims, it was about the method, how a man turned everyday trust into a weapon. For investigators, it was a reminder of the need to connect dots across regions, to see patterns where none seem obvious. For ordinary people, it was a painful lesson. Evil doesn't always look like evil. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it shares a drink. Sometimes it pretends to be your friend. And for the families of 11 victims, justice came late. But at least it came. Their loved ones cannot return, but their stories remain as a warning and as a testament to resilience. Between 2018 and 2024, one man destroyed 11 lives. He operated in silence, but he was not invisible. And in the end, truth caught up with him. This is the story of Ukraine's silent predator, and the reminder that justice, though slow, never truly sleeps.